After what was a very long wait after season 3, Superman and Lois has finally returned with its fourth and final season. It is sad that this is going to be the final season of the show, but we've had 2 incredible episodes to kick off the season already, and without wasting any more time, let's just get into this review and breakdown for Superman and Lois season 4, episodes 1 and 2. So, of course, we've had this crazy cliffhanger to leave off Superman and Lois season 3, and that was, of course, with Superman versus Doomsday. Now, I'm not going to talk about the episode like shot by shot. I'm just going to go over like what I have in order. So, of course, we do have Superman versus Doomsday leaving us off with season 3, and I can't lie, guys, the cinematography in this episode, especially when it came to the fight scenes between Doomsday and Superman, were just incredible. All the camera shots and like the way they just handled certain things, oh boy, was it incredible. But as I said, this picks up right directly from the season 3 finale, showing Superman pretty much destroyed. Like, we've had Doomsday mop the floor with this guy, and throughout the episode we've had this brutal battle between Superman and Doomsday, and I cannot lie, it was so cool to watch. Like the CGI and everything. Bear in mind, as we've been saying for God knows how long, this is a CW show, and the fact that although budget has been cut for this season, they've still managed to deliver an incredibly visually pleasing scene, and also like something that definitely hit the mark so well. And this is why I appreciate this season, and especially this show, so much, because of like how good its visual effects are. And I will always praise Superman and Lois for this. But man, Superman got absolutely freaking destroyed, but it was just such an incredible moment to watch between Superman and Doomsday. I'm just really interested to see how they're going to bring Superman back, because we're going to talk about the ending scene in a bit. But of course, while that is happening, while we have Superman versus Doomsday, we do have scenes taking place on Earth itself while Superman is dealing with Doomsday out of space. Of course, we have Jordan and Jonathan, and Jordan's, more along, like, more into his superhero thing right now. Of course, we do have General Samuel Lane, who has been kidnapped, and pretty much Jordan, Jonathan, and even Lois have been working to try and find where Samuel Lane could be. And Jordan's pretty much trying to use his powers. He's trying to hear if he could get any sense of Lex whatsoever, and with that, of course, he could end up finding his grandfather. But he's been unsuccessful for the most part, until of course the very end of the episode, where he is able to locate Samuel Lane. But once again, seeing Jordan as Superboy is something really nice, and it was something I do really miss. And as I said, we're gonna get much more of Jordan out in the field in this season, and I am all for it. I just hope they just get rid of that suit as soon as possible. They probably are not until maybe like towards the final few episodes, maybe even the last episode of the show, but they do really need to get rid of that suit because it is absolutely awful. But just seeing Jordan as Superboy, it is very cool. Now, of course, although we do have Doomsday out of space, as our main antagonist on Earth, we do have Lex Luthor. I don't know how to feel about this Lex Luthor, especially compared to like the arrowverse version of Lex Luthor. I know comparing isn't really a good thing to do, as this Lex Luthor, you can tell, is much different. They did kind of change this personal rivalry between Lex in a way, where Lex is more so pissed off at the fact that Lois technically separated his daughter from him, and he's pretty much trying to get revenge on the Kent family because of this. Which, don't get me wrong, it is new to see. It is something fresh that we're getting. But say I compare it to other iterations of Lex Luthor, especially the one we had on the Arrowverse. I'm not convinced about this Lex Luthor, but I guess we will have to just wait and see. And just see how like the whole rivalry and everything else just plays out. Now, one thing I really loved about this episode is the flashbacks we had with Clark and Lois's relationship. Like, it was very well put through in the episode, but also like it's a very nice contrast to what we're getting in the present day, which is clearly much darker. And like seeing these light-hearted moments between Clark and Lois, it's incredible. Oh my god, man, their chemistry, Tyler Hoechlin and Bitsy Tulloch, their chemistry, like in terms of Lois and Clark, is just absolutely amazing, and they definitely just smashed it. We had their relationship in various points. Like, we had the time where Clark first tells Lois that he's Superman, and we pretty much get the aftermath of that, for example. All of this I did really, really like and did appreciate in the episode. But towards the end of the episode, we pretty much reach like the climax moment where we have Superman pretty much being absolutely destroyed. In fact, killed. His lifeless body is on Earth. Doomsday obviously brings him down, leaves him in Smallville. We have Lois, Jordan, and Jonathan going there, and they're just crying their eyes out. And then we have people seeing this, so pretty much we don't know for 100%, do they know that Clark Kent is now Superman, or is it just like, oh, well, Superman is dead? Apart from the people that, of course, know Clark's secret, I'm interested to see more of that as well, because there have been eyewitnesses in the incident, but I guess we will see. But yeah, Doomsday obviously rips his heart and gives it to Lex Luthor, as Lex Luthor ordered him to do so towards the start of the episode. But yeah, Superman is dead, and how is he going to come back? This is what gets us into episode 2 of this season. Yes, as I did say, we did have a 2-hour premiere. This pretty much picks up right after the first episode, where of course we have Superman's apparent death. And the Kent family, they're absolutely destroyed about this news, because it's obviously Clark Kent, part of their family. For the kids, it's their father. For Lois, it's her husband. But yeah, the Kent family are absolutely destroyed about this, as you would obviously expect. So Jordan takes Clark to the Fortress of Solitude and pretty much tries to get Superman examined. And it turns out that they're able to bring Clark back, but they need to bring his heart. And that's what Jordan pretty much does throughout this episode. Like, more so his whole role in this episode is him as Superboy trying to get his father's heart back. But also, Jordan steps into a larger role in this episode. Like, he feels the pressure to live up to his father's legacy. And this is something I did really like, because it forces Jordan to fully embrace that Superboy role. And throughout the episode, you do see Jordan's internal conflict clear. Like, he's not ready to assume Superman's responsibilities yet, but he feels obligated to protect his family and protect all of his loved ones in Clark's absence. But also, he does feel the responsibility to do what Superman does while his father is absent as well. This is something I do really, really like. Jonathan, on the other hand, struggles with being the non-superpowered one. Like, he's not really able to do much and be much of help. And his journey is more so, like, I would say, grounded and focused on the emotional and human challenges of losing his father, rather than, of course, Jordan, who also has to live up to the role of being a superhero as well. Now, Lex Luthor's plans continue to unfold. With Superman gone, Lex Luthor pretty much, intensifies his efforts to seize control over Smallville, taking advantage of the town's vulnerable state. And this is where he comes in conflict with Lana Lang, who is, of course, now mayor of Smallville. And she's forced to step up and protect the community of Smallville, putting her in direct conflict with Lex Luthor. And normally, I'm not really too into Lana Lang scenes or anything like that. It's not something I'm too much of a fan of, but I will say this subplot definitely does add some good tension to this season, and I am interested to see where this is going to go as well. Now, as I did say, we do have Jordan filling up this Superboy role. Like, he's going around trying to get information, and we have him actually going out there in the field alone. And, he's doing this all behind his mother's back, because he knows how triggered she will get. Now, of course, Sarah and Jonathan do get involved in some way as well. But, I did really like this scene, especially that whole kryptonite scene where it just, flickers to Superman and you flicker back to Jordan, like, getting up and, pretty much trying to be the hero that his father is. All of that, as I said, I found really, really cool. But, of course, we have Lex Luthor arriving, and, he uses some device to suppress Jordan's abilities. And while he does that, the pretty big shock is that Lex Luthor just drops the heart and just tears it apart. So Jordan cannot really get his father's heart back because Lex destroyed it. I cannot lie, that was quite evil of the guy. So I am really, really interested to see where this goes. But by the end of this episode, it pretty much becomes clear that Superman is not gonna come back anytime soon. Like, they still have a lot of things to do. I would probably assume like by episode 4 or even episode 5, that's when Clark probably comes back. But for now, what we're gonna get of Clark Kent is going to be that Fortress of Solitude type holographic scenes that we're going to get, and I think that is what's going to help Jordan train and pretty much push forward this role of Jordan becoming Superman. Maybe he does end up getting the suit soon enough, who knows. But yeah, the emotional and physical toll of Clark's absence begins to pretty much ripple through this whole family and the town, and the looming threat of Lex Luthor grows even bigger. But yeah, I am really interested to see what happens next. But oh boy, were these 2 episodes just incredible, and I am really excited to see where this goes. And it's also good to have this show back at the same time. Now, in terms of how Clark's gonna get his heart back, we don't know how this is going to be. It could either be Lex Luthor kind of helps out in some way. Maybe Doomsday becomes like far too out of control that Lex is pretty much forced to help out. I don't see that happening, and I would be against that, so hopefully it doesn't happen. Maybe it will just be something like Fortress related, something Kryptonian related, I don't know. Maybe they create an artificial heart for all we know, but I am really interested to see how they're going to bring Superman back, because this is actually a very interesting mystery that they've established as of now. But yeah guys, thanks for watching. If you guys have enjoyed the video, please give a like and subscribe. Be sure to let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought about the episode. I'm interested to see what all of your thoughts about this episode are as well. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.